New Orleans Saints get their third win of the 2025 regular season by defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 24-20 on the season. Um, this is also Tyler Shuck's second career win as an NFL starting quarterback. Saints are now 3-10 on the season, and the Buccaneers are now 7-6 on the season. Right now, they're tied with the Carolina Panthers for the lead in the NFC South. Now, I know, a lot of people, feel a certain way about this stuff because they want the Saints to lose as many games as possible for their so the Saints could get a high draft pick. And that's if you feel like that, that's fine. But for these guys on the field, these guys, they want to win games. The coach staff, they want to win games. And for Tyler Shuck's sake, after the way Fernando Mendoza, Indiana QB, played yesterday, and the way he has played throughout the entire season, it will be beneficial if this team can win games because of him, because of what he's doing. And that's what the Saints did today in Sunday's matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because the Saints were not a favorite to win this game. They were like, according to the bet odds, it was 8.5 points. Under the Saints was an 8.5 point underdogs to lose this game. Nobody expected the Saints to win this game, even me, But it would being honest, the last meeting between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, the Saints had a chance to win that game. You know, so Tampa Bay right now to me has been kind of teetering, and the way it's looking, their run in the NFC South as NFC South champions could be coming to the end. After what we see in the Carolina Panthers, but we'll see. But as for this game, um, I like the way the Saints came out. They got out to the offense, got out to a fast start. Um, Tampa Bay responded. Then it got into a very physical contest, a sloppy game. Rain started coming down, and the Saints just hung in there and went toe to toe with Tampa Bay. You know, Tyler Shough ran for 2 touchdowns. So right now he's like 2-3 as a starter. Last victory he got was against the Carolina Panthers, a team that the Saints beat, but Carolina Panthers are competing for the NFC South now, while the Saints can't. And I like this quote here by Todd Bowles, Buccaneers head coach. You know, um, he said it doesn't matter whether the team is 12-0 or 0-12. It's the NFL. You have to show up and make plays, or the other team is going to beat you. And he's right. This is the NFL. Division games. We all like a lot of us know this that division games could be crazy. This games period could be crazy in the NFL, where you have a really good team on any given Sunday could come out there and not be good and just not play up to their potential. But for the Bucs, man, like I said, the Bucs kind of been teetering on the downside lately, recently. I would say before Thanksgiving, you know. So um the way this game played out, right, is that after Chris Godwin couldn't hold on to the football on Baker Mayfield's pass on 4th and 2, um, the Saints got it, went ahead for the go ahead score, and Tyler Shuck spun away from Logan Hall and Vita Vea in the backfield and ran for 13 yards for a touchdown. They gave the Saints a 24-17 lead near the midpoint of the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay had a chance to tie it, but Emeka Ibuka dropped Mayfield's pass in the end zone. That was a clean pass right there. Clean throw by Baker Mayfield. Ibuka dropped it. So they had to settle for a field goal. And that cut the deficit to 24-20. Tampa Bay had another chance to get it, but Deion Jones dropped an interception by Tyler Shough. Then um, they went for it again on four. I think it was 4-4, right? And he threw a pass to his tight end, Cole Naughton. He didn't make it. They went ahead and reviewed it very fast, and it went the Saints' way. The call went the Saints' way. Saints got the ball back, ran the clock out, went victory formation, game over. So there it is. Saints win the game, 24-20. Huge victory for this team going forward. And me personally, I think the Saints got the quarterback of the future in Tyler Shough. And I know even with the losses, I just think that the way he carries himself with the offense, the way he carries himself on the field, it just gives me, the confidence to believe that this guy has the potential to be the Saints quarterback of the future. This is not a knock against Spencer Rattler, but it's just something about the offense that is just different compared to when Spencer Rattler was on the center with the first team unit. It just is, you know. Last week should have been a win. Without question, that should have been a win. If Chris Olave held on to that pass, that would have been a win. And then this week would have been a win. So that would have been 4 wins right there. You know what I mean? 4 wins on the season right there. But it's neither here nor there. And also I think the defense is just not getting enough credit for the way they have played recently. Last week they neutralized Tua Tagovailoa to only 154 yards. This game, Baker Mayfield had 122 yards passing. On the ground, Bucket Irving ran for 55 yards. Rashad Wright, he had 53 yards. So even though they gave up 179 yards rushing, no Buccaneers player had 100 yards, especially their top two backs. Through the air, Chris Godwin had 5 catches, 55 yards. Bucket Irving was their second leading receiver with only 2 catches and 26 yards. So I think the defense did a really good job of neutralizing this team. They really did. And I think this is one of the biggest bright spots for this team as they wrap up the rest of the 2026 season. I think that this defense next season has the potential to be really good. It really do. Demario Davis and Cam Jordan are still playing like they have something to prove. They're playing like they have something left in the tank. Both of those guys. Alontae Taylor got an interception today. You know, um, let's see who had. No, there wasn't a lot of sacks today, but Baker Mayfield just had a good game today. He just didn't have a good game today. You know, and it wasn't perfect on offense or defense. It wasn't. There was a lot of some sloppiness there. So the defense give up a few big runs here and there, but overall, man, they held it down. The defense held Baker Mayfield in check. You know, um, Devon Valet was solid. He was okay today. 3 catches, 40 yards. Juwan Johnson had 4 catches, 38 yards. Chris Olave, 3 catches, 30 yards. Foster Moreau, 1 catch, 16 yards. I thought Devin Neal was pretty solid today, the running back. He had 19 carries, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyler Shough, 13 of 20, 144 yards. No touchdown passes, one interception, was sacked 3 times. But he also ran for 2 touchdowns on the ground. Ran for 2 touchdowns on the ground today. So that was solid. And then he showed you his running ability. The scouts always said that Tyler Shough was a good runner. And the day we saw that, 7 carries. Tyler Shough had 7 carries for 55 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged 7.9 yards per run. So I thought this was a solid game from start to finish. I like how the Saints were able to adapt in the conditions that they were in. The weather was real sloppy out there. It started to rain, started to pour down, and it didn't let it bother them. Played a very physical game with a team that can get physical in that type of conditions with those type of play, with that personnel. So good game by the New Orleans Saints. They're 3-10 on the season. Next week, you go back to the Superdome to face the Carolina Panthers, and that's going to be a team that's hungry for revenge after what occurred the last time they played, where I think Bryce Young had like 124 yards passing. The running game was not a factor in that matchup. So we'll see how it all play out. But my question for the Saints is this: are you going to carry this momentum on into next week? Are we going to see a game where it relapse again like they did against the Atlanta Falcons coming off a bye? So that's something I'm going to be watching in next Sunday's game against the Carolina Panthers. And the Carolina Panthers have a lot to play for next week because they're currently tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for control of the NFC South right now. So a lot is at stake for the Carolina Panthers next week and next Sunday's matchup against New Orleans Saints. But even though the Saints are not going to the playoffs, there's a lot at stake for them as well because Tyler Shuck's development. We all want to see how you what's next in your development. Can you compare this performance into next week? Can you show that type of playmaking skills against Carolina's defense? Now that Carolina has some tape on you, you know, do we see you struggle in this game? Or are we going to see more of what we saw in the last matchup when you throw for over 200 yards and a few touchdown passes against a really good Carolina Panthers defense? So that's something to think about. That's something to look forward to if you're a New Orleans Saints fan. So Saints win today, go to 3-10. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they fall to 76. Now tied for first place in the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers. Saints play the Carolina Panthers next week at the Superdome. So that's all I have for y'all for right now. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.